What's going on, everyone? It's Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media. Eliot Wolf's hot streak continues as the de facto general manager followed up a very impressive draft in which he addressed all of the Patriots' primary needs on offense by locking up their best defensive player and arguably the best player the Patriots have on their entire team. Christian Barmore, the interior defensive lineman, has reached a 4-year extension worth a maximum value of $92 million with $41.8 million guaranteed. That is the highest paid non-Tom Brady contract in Patriots history, but it also puts him just outside the top 10 of defensive tackles in what's becoming an exploding market where teams are beginning to realize there's a lot of value in players who can rush the passer from inside. Now, I thought Christian Barmore was an all-pro candidate last season, especially in a Patriots scheme that prioritizes gap discipline as opposed to others where players are allowed to kind of play off the leash and really penetrate and attack up the field. He's also the first every down terror the Patriots have had in well over a decade at the interior defensive line position, which makes him extremely valuable in their scheme. Looking at the stats, Christian Barmore did put up numbers that put him in at least the Pro Bowl conversation, but as I said, considering what his role was in the Patriots defense, I thought he should have been someone who was considered an all-pro. He had 40 defensive stops, which was 4th among interior defensive linemen, 43 run stops, which was tied for 7th, 8.5 sacks, which was also 7th among interior defensive linemen, as well as 27 wins without pressure or quick pressures, which was tied for 5th, and 5 batted passes, which was tied for 6th. Locking up Christian Barmore had to be one of the top priorities for the Patriots this offseason, even though he has had a bit of an injury history. So this was a huge move and another feather in the cap for de facto general manager Eliot Wolf. Together that he has in such a short amount of time is very impressive, and you'd have to think that Robert and Jonathan Kraft decide to stick with him moving forward. Looking ahead, the Patriots are looking pretty thin at interior defensive line even after extending Christian Barmore. Devon Godchaw, Jeremiah Farms Jr., Daniel Ekwale, and free agent signing Armand Watts are all set to be free agents in 2025. Now, of course, some of those players can still be extended. I'd have my eye specifically on Godchaw and Jeremiah Farms, who came on really well late last season, but it's going to be curious to see how the Patriots decide to address that position moving forward, and if they use some of the many dollars they still have at their disposal in cap space to address the position even further with potentially some longer-term talent. In terms of potential extension candidates outside of Christian Barmore, I have my eye on running back Ramondre Stevenson. Now, of course, Stevenson is also a player who's battled injury and wasn't able to finish last season due to a high ankle sprain. But I do think the team really likes him and sees him as a foundational piece in their offense, especially considering for the past few seasons, he was the only player that opposing defensive coordinators actually had to worry about. I also believe that, according to Pat's capper Miguel Benzan, he's actually said in one of our previous podcasts that Ramondre Stevenson's contract this season would be even cheaper if the Patriots were to extend him. So keep an eye on the running back as the Patriots continue to try to extend and retain their young talent, which, again, Eliot Wolf has done a fantastic job of locking up nearly all of their key defensive players and making sure that their offense is loaded with young talent as we saw through the draft.
Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.